I tell you what, I like you and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Well, I don't think you and I will be doing anything any kind of way.
Okay, I see you choosing the hard way.
Okay, cut. This isn't working. Someone get this guy out.
Don't make me ruin that bike. No, Chris, I'm a warrior.
I gamble. The main thing I did in there is gamble, fight, and booty. And if I ain't gambling, I'm chasing butt.
I want that booty, Tom.
You can't have my booty.
Oh, yeah, I can.
The booty is mine. It belongs to me. You cannot take my booty. The booty is mine. It belongs to me. You cannot take my booty.
That'll work for a little while. Well, it gets old. And you're in an environment now where you see men walking around that is built like women. And flaunting themselves too, making their ass pop, bending over in front of you, and you're like, oh my God, my woman didn't have a butt like that.
So the real-life booty warrior just did an interview with no jumper. And y'all, this is darker than any Boondocks episode ever showed you. The story about the real man behind the character, Fleece Johnson, is straight up brutal. Now, fans are split on how to feel about no jumper giving this guy a platform. Some are saying his life story put things into perspective because his experiences in childhood really affected how he turned out. But others are saying this is wrong on every level because this guy is a predator and a serial R-word, and just because he has a sob story doesn't mean we should overlook all the stuff he did. So let's break down exactly what Fleece Johnson, aka the Booty Warrior, said and why this is probably the best PSA to deter anyone from going to prison.
These men walking around that is built like women and flaunting themselves too, making their ass pop, bending over in front of you, and you're like, oh my God, my woman didn't have a butt like that. You mesmerized.
Everybody online knows about the Booty Warrior. The infamous quote, "Booty's more important than drinking water," has lived rent-free in internet history for almost 20 years.
When you go to prison, the most important thing in your life is going to be booty. A man's butt. Booty, getting some booty, is more important than eating food. It's more important than drinking water. If I see a man I like, I tell him like this here. I like you, and I want you.
But before the Boondocks turned Booty Warrior into a punchline, that line came from a real man named Fleece Johnson, sitting in a Kentucky prison during an old MSNBC lockup interview.
Booty, having some booty, was more important than drinking water, man. I like booty. When I see one, and he looks good to me. When I go see him, I say, you come here. I say, I'm telling you what, I like you, and I want you.
The producers went in looking for prison shock value, and they found it. Fleece talked openly about how was rampant behind bars, describing it with a calmness that made people's skin crawl.
When lockup visited Kentucky State Penitentiary, we met Fleece Johnson, a longtime inmate who practices a very different kind of homosexuality.
But we have sexual desires, right? So you got a bunch of men locked up in one place. All of them get hard. All of them's horny, all of them got sexual desire, so what are they gonna do? You won't let them have a woman. They gonna have somebody's gonna have to give us some booty. And it's just that simple.
The most memorable story that Fleece told us was about the place and importance that booty has in a maximum security penitentiary. And he went on about it and on about it.
In his prison, booty was more important than food. Booty, a man's butt. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way. So the choice is yours, right? And it was always yes.
This clip was edited, replayed, and passed around until the internet turned this disturbed man into a timeless meme. Fleece Johnson became a myth, a character, a caricature. And once the Boondocks got hold of it, that myth got cemented forever.
Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
What you want, Tom?
What's it gonna be? I asked you a question, Tom.
I can't hear you, Tom.
I don't want to answer.
Excuse me, I didn't hear you, Tom.
But what was funny in a cartoon is horrifying in real life. When the Boondocks dropped the A Date with the Booty Warrior episode, fans ate it up. It was wild, hilarious, exactly what Aaron McGruder did best, taking something uncomfortable and forcing you to laugh your way through the truth. In the episode, the Booty Warrior character is basically a horror movie villain trapped in a comedy, and it's all absurd on purpose.
Now you see this, kids? You really don't want this to happen to you, okay?
And your shirt too, nigga. Hurry up.
Take it on.
Okay, kids, y'all motherfuckers looking, huh? Tom just got his motherfucking manhood test, and he failed. He should have knocked my motherfucking head off. And you know what that means, don't you? Tom, you get raped.
When you go to prison, the most important thing in your life is going to be booty.
Y'all better listen to
a man's butt.
McGruder wasn't glorifying Fleece Johnson. He was showing how twisted the prison system can make people. But like most satire, the message got lost in the memes. Folks weren't talking about mass incarceration or prison treatment. They were quoting lines, making parodies, turning real trauma into viral sketches.
Just how important was booty?
In this prison, booty was more important than food. Booty, a man's butt, was more, I'm serious, was more important than water.
That boy just kept going on.
Was more important than Beyonce to Destiny's Child.
And on.
Was more important than Michael Jackson is to Chris Brown.
And on about that booty.
Is more important than kissing a man in the mouth is to Lil Wayne. I see you, Weezy. I want you. And I like you.
But the problem is, once you turn someone into a joke, it's almost impossible to take them seriously again, even when their real story is the stuff of nightmares. And that's the case with the real Booty Warrior. Before he became a cartoon character and a meme, Fleece Johnson was an aggressive man doing real harm. He wasn't misunderstood. He was dangerous. Fleece was locked up for armed robbery and repeat offenses in Kentucky, and he spent decades behind bars. And while he was there, he gained a reputation for all the wrong reasons. When MSNBC Lockup filmed their prison special, they found a man who had adapted to survival in the darkest possible way. In that interview, Fleece didn't confess. He bragged. He described SA and preying on other inmates in the most casual way possible.
Be asking for trouble from old-timers.
You know, they got this thing where they sag their pants past their butt. It's a style. They call it some sort of gangster style. You know, it's sexy to us, right? And see, but they weren't prepared for this, right? So you sag your pants in her, man, somebody be up in your butt. You to say so. I'm not no shame in my game. This is nothing that I'm ashamed to admit. I am what I am. I'm a warrior too, you know, so let that be known. I'm a warrior.
But let's be real, there's nothing comedic about what he described. He's talking about using and traumatizing men who were already trapped inside a system that was built to dehumanize them. And that's what makes this story so dark. Prison didn't just break Fleece, it made him into a monster. What's also disturbing is that when the MSNBC interview aired, the producers didn't frame it as a warning. They didn't center the victims or the reality of prison grape. They framed it like a freak show. Like, look at this crazy inmate moment to boost ratings. Fleece Johnson was guilty, absolutely. But the prison system and mainstream media were guilty too of turning something serious into a viral spectacle. So when this interview was later turned into a meme, the internet removed the victims from the picture and left only a cartoon villain we could all laugh at without guilt. But now, decades after that MSNBC interview clip went viral, Fleece Johnson sat down for an interview on No Jumper and talked openly about his experiences in prison and the real story behind the Booty Warrior myth. But it turns out that the real story is even darker than what we thought. Fleece is older now, married to a woman, softer spoken, almost polite. You'd expect remorse, but what you get instead is something far more dark, confession without apology.
So I don't care about what people say about me because I know everybody in this world has did some bad stuff. I ain't the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm the only one that's get up and talk about it. But I'm not the only one that ever did something, that people disagree with. Now, on sex, man, I had sex with a lot of men. That first time, I said, I got to get more booty. I got to get as much booty as I can in her. This is all I got to go on. I'm never getting out. I don't know what it will feel like to be with a woman, so I went hard, man. I seen, if I really want somebody, what I do, man, is introduce myself to him, let him know I got all the money. I'm the one with the weed and the whiskey and all this stuff, and I'm the one to get things popping. If you want to roll with me, holler at me, right? I'm seeing you, I think you look good, and whatever we do, I'm going to keep it discreet. You don't have to worry about nobody in your business. You can keep your mustache or whatever. I just want your booty, man.
But here's where the story turns even more sinister. Fleece revealed that he was a victim of something horrific in childhood, and he believes that turned him into a monster when he grew up.
Pressing stuff right away, but I watched another interview where you were talking about how you were basically having other men come at you from a very early age.
Yeah, that did happen. I was molested as a child.
What age was that?
I was around about 11, 12.
And do you feel like that changed you a lot? And how did that change you?
It changed me tremendously because at the time, I was having problems with my, I got siblings at home. It's 7 of us in the family. There's four boys and 3 girls. And one day I walked in the room and caught them having sex. And so I said, I'm going to tell on you. So what they did was they all came up with a story. So when my mom and them came home, they came up with something. He had me get whooped for something that I didn't do, just to stop me from telling what I saw them do. And so at the time, I didn't have nobody that I can come to and talk to and tell them what's going on and stuff. And then when I got molested, I didn't have a big brother I can run to and say, hey man, this guy did this to me. Because my brothers now was now against me for me seeing them do what I saw them do.
Was that part of a pattern that all your brothers and sisters, like they were all having sex with each other? And did you feel like this was a consensual thing?
Wasn't all of them. It wasn't all of them. It was two sisters and 2 brothers. They did it.
And do you feel like this was consensual, that they had agreed?
Yeah, they was doing. She one of my sisters offered me something, and I said no. And so. I had to live a life, and then I get molested. Now I get paranoid that, somebody gonna see some feminine stuff in me. So I started coming out with an aggressive personality to stop people from seeing that side of me. So I would come out real mean, real aggressive, start packing pistols, and all this stuff, and just to throw people off, really, from what I was doing. And then when I got off into that, it took a personality of its own. I actually became that, real tough in the hood.
So who actually molested you?
Well, it was 2 people, and cause I didn't have nobody to talk to now, and I ain't got no family to talk to. They all mad at me cause I was gonna tell on what I saw them do. I see somebody in the neighborhood, he wants to talk to me. And we walked around the buildings and stuff, and we talked. And then he started wrestling, showing me that he's stronger than me. He wants to wrestle and pin me down on the ground and all this stuff and hunch on me. And but he was the only person I could talk to, him and the other guy. And so once he started doing it, you know, I'm confused about all of this, and I don't know what to do about it. And but when I turned 13 and I started packing them guns real heavy, the 2 guys that did it come up dead. Just put it like that.
The saddest part is that Fleece really had no real support system. In fact, his parents were ruthless and would punish him just for refusing to cry.
So I'm getting all these whoopings and stuff, and so to spite my sister now, I said I ain't gonna cry no more. So they told my mama, so she came in and asked me, did I say? I said, yeah, I said it, and I mean it. So she whooped me till her nose started bleeding. And I wouldn't cry. Then my daddy came in, he whooped me until his hands shook.
Right. I mean, do you think that also did some damage on you personality-wise? Like, just
it did.
Yeah,
It did.
all those beatings, like, it's such a wild thing to think of, like, why a parent would even want to do that. That's just hard for me to wrap my head around.
Yeah, back then they didn't have child laws like they got now.
Right.
You know, kids got beat. I got beaten, and my daddy bought his fist up and hit me in the face because I wasn't crying. When I got out of the hospital, I said I'm ready for round 2, and they told me you don't get whoopings no more. So they killed that. You know, I had to go through some stuff to achieve it, but that's what happened.
So now watching this interview, you can't help but wonder if he's a symptom of a bigger sickness. At the end of the day, this whole story's just sad. Not funny, not shocking anymore, just sad. Fleece Johnson was a victim of his environment and adults who were supposed to protect him. And then he grew up to be a victimizer. We've seen this same cycle many times before. We took a man talking about using other men and made him a meme. And that says a lot about how this country treats black pain, especially when it's wrapped in humor. Folks don't even realize what they're laughing at half the time. Well, now I want to hear your thoughts on this story. How do you feel about all these podcasts giving Fleece Johnson a platform? Do you think he deserves to be heard, or is this disrespectful to his victims? And here's a deeper one. Why are we so quick to turn our own trauma into a joke just because everybody else is laughing? Leave your comments down below, and I'll catch you in this next video.